Okay, Christina here to listen to some music. And today's music selection is 46 and 2 by Tool. I don't know this band at all, at least not as far as I know. Maybe I've heard them in passing on the radio, wouldn't be able to tell you what they sound like, but I have been told that there is a huge following of this band and that they are very creative and that I might really like their music, and so we're going to give this a try. What I do know is that they started in 1990 and their music is sort of creative and based on sort of nature, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm kind of confused by that, but we'll figure it out. There really were a lot of suggestions for this band, and I had to narrow it down. I wrote down as many of the songs as I could, put them in a poll. This is the one that won. So we're listening to 46 and 2. What does it mean? Not quite sure, but we'll get there. I've been told I can go ahead and sort of listen to this musically first and then let the lyrics and the meaning sink in. So that's what I'm going to do. That's kind of what my brain wants to do. Anyway, that's the order it prefers. Music first, then lyrics. Be sure to do all the things, like and subscribe. You can find me on Patreon. You can support me or make direct requests also on Ko-fi. Become a channel member, all that stuff. I really appreciate it. The channel's going really well. We've got some really exciting things coming up, like live streams and collaborations with other reactors, and it's just really, really exciting. So happy to have you all along for this little adventure. Okay, so enough talking. Let's listen. Okay. That was really interesting. I had the feeling that that statement is soon going to be an understatement. Oh, it's really interesting. That was fun for my brain to just be chasing around all of the sounds that I was hearing in the background. And that included the voice. I can barely hear the voice. I mean, except for the part that we just passed by where he was quite a bit louder. But up to that point, and I think we're headed back into a softer point, all of these sounds that are in the background, and the voice is one of them. And I love that. I love when the voice doesn't just have to be the lead. I love a good lead vocals as well also. But, it's just, this is a little bit higher level of composition. And my ear is just picking up on some of the percussion in the background. I'm hearing all different instruments and all different beats, not just a simple drum set. I was hearing all different timbres. And then with the mixture of the guitars, and again, I'm still learning the lingo with all of the guitars. I'm a string musician, but I'm not a guitarist per se. So there are different pedals and different settings and different things that make the guitar sound a certain way. And I'm a sucker for all of those sounds. I really like them a lot. So I was hearing some really cool, the best way to describe it is sort of like underwater sounds. Just kind of warbly, almost doubled. It reminds me of the bit of grunge that I fell in love with from Nirvana. That sort of warbly yet soothing guitar sound. So I'm hearing that, plus some interesting play with the meters. Just when I thought I could catch a bar with 7 beats in it, then I was sort of fooled, and it went right back into 4/4, a steady 4, like 1, 2, 3, 4. But I know I heard some variation in there. It was just a matter of where. Oh, there was also a really cool modulation that happened. It might have been a play between the relative major and minor. I can't remember. I believe there was a minor third that was involved. But you know what? I'm just going to go back to the beginning. We're just going to listen to this part again because I just need more. I need more. There's that warbly sound. But what's that in the background? Modulation. Okay. Wow. This is complex enough that it's really taking a bit to sink in, to let my ear really grab onto everything that was happening. And I guess I don't need to know everything that's happening. Sometimes you don't have to know the ongoings in the background of a production, you know. Sometimes it takes away some of the magic of it. But I mean, that's my training, is to sort of dissect things and listen for the sounds and the timbres and the rhythms, how the music was built. And so I just can't help myself. So this is just something that I really just want to sink my teeth into. Okay, so I'm going to comment just a little bit more on the music, and then we're going to take a look at the lyrics to make sure I'm not missing anything else. I mean, to me, it seems like the lyrics are not the star of the show here, that it's the complexity of the music instead. Oh, I love the play of the modulation that went a minor third away, and I heard that come back in a few other gestures. There was a really cool thing that something started here and went up and then down and then down and then down and then down. And it was really a little play of that chromaticism in there. Oh, okay. The shocking silences, just boom, boom, boom. I love that trick. I think it's a great trick in music. And it seemed to happen when you least expect it in this piece. And I really love that. I loved being taken by surprise with that. Then there's some incredible rhythmic things happening in the background. What in the world was going on with the drums there towards the end? So I'm also not a percussionist. I'm great at counting. I mean, as a composer, I can dictate rhythms very easily. Like as I'm hearing them, I'm seeing them. My mind's eye is writing the rhythms down on the page. Normally I can keep up pretty well, but there were some moments with the drums in here that I was just like, what is that? And it was almost like it was ad-lib. There was a part there towards the end that it seemed like it was a cadenza, you know, a virtuosic spot towards the end of a piece that features a soloist. Or maybe a quick jazz kind of solo where that person is in the spotlight. Like for you take turns in jazz and blues and in that type of music where, you know, each instrument is showcased. And it's like, okay, the drums get to sort of take over and ad-lib. But it wasn't ad-libbed. It was absolutely fixed in the music, just the way it was meant to be, but it comes off seeming like it's ad-lib. So am I correct in thinking that when this piece is played live that it's the same each time? Or was that more of an ad-lib moment? I'm not sure. And I love that. And then at one point, all of the rhythmic value towards the end, it sort of crescendoed, it sort of grew, and then it sort of changed shape. Sometimes, you know, if you look at the hubcaps of a car driving, if you're next to a car and you see the hubcaps and the shape of the hubcap, even though you're both driving at a certain speed, it looks like the shape of the hubcap is going actually the other direction. That's almost what happened with the rhythmic value of the end of the piece. What my ear started to identify it as was what we call a hemiola. And I've tried to explain this before in a previous reaction, but it's essentially when you combine a beat of 3 with a beat of 2, and they get so intertwined that you can't quite feel where the downbeat is anymore, where like beat 1 is. Brahms is a classical composer who is known for having used that technique quite a bit. There were others, but he's sort of one of the most famous. Brahms, right here. This is a record of Brahms' Third Symphony. Okay, so let me just check the lyrics really quickly before I go any further, because I feel like from the beginning to the end, something changed. Like it's the same song, but it evolved somehow. But I still have no idea what this has to do with the title. So let's find out. Okay, lyrics. Join in, my child. My shadow is shedding skin. Ew, picking scabs. Okay. Crawling on my belly. Change is coming. Oh, so maybe I'm on the right track. Something is changing. Metamorphosis. I think I am on the right track. 46 and 2 are just ahead of me. 46 and 2. I know that one other song, I've been told, by Tool is based on the Fibonacci sequence. So are we talking like science here? Like nature. That's what I meant by at the beginning when I said some of their songs are based on nature. So I'm just picturing a snake shedding its skin, but to become something new. So are we talking like evolution? So changing who you are, becoming a better version of yourself. But what does that have to do with 46? I don't know, 46 and 2. Sounds like 23 and me. I don't know. Well, 23 is half of 46. Does it have to do with like changing who we are at like a structural level? I don't know. That might be pushing it. I do believe that there is some nature and some kind of evolution involved here. So I'm going to go with that and let me know if I'm on the right track or not. But either way, this is my interpretation. So I want to discuss some of these incredible elements here. I loved how the voice was really quiet at times. And the lead singer's voice, and again, I'm getting to know this band. I don't know names, but I will eventually. The lead singer, his voice really reminds me of Kurt Cobain. It's definitely not like an Eddie Vedder kind of deeper, where all of the formation of the mouth is, back further and we have rounder vowels and harsher consonants. This is more of a straightforward tone and a higher register. I could barely hear it. But what I did hear, I thought was very much cleverly used as an instrument, the voice being used as an instrument and how it mimics the sounds of the guitars. But I don't think it's my imagination that the guitar sounds were sort of the main voices for this song. But the percussion definitely had its moment in the spotlight. So I just want to go back and highlight just a couple of the compositional aspects that I was talking about. Let's see if I can find a few. Okay, so I think this spot is demonstrating how it stops and starts. And then we go into that fabulous grunge sound where it's just, there's this groove to it and it's like all of the amps turned up and all of the chords from the guitars just all happening at the same time. I liken it to the sound of a really well-tuned brass section where the harmonies are so perfect and they just rumble the stage. They rumble the floor beneath you. And that sound, there are so many times in classical music where you get that rock and roll sound where everything is just perfect and it rumbles the stage. And so when it happens in a song like this, I'm very excited about it. So I think this is one spot where this happens. Let's see. Okay, and then it returns back to the opening material. It's so effective, and it's a great transition, a great way to end that verse or that chorus and go back into the next section. So let's see if we can find a few other elements here. I want to hear that little chromatic line. Let's see if we can find that little chromatic line. Okay, so I don't know why that little gesture right there stands out to me, but I really love it. It's way up high in timbre and the register. It's a higher sound that just kind of pops out of nowhere. And then it's these little intervals that are kind of working their way down. It's very impactful to sort of help build whatever imagery you're working on in your brain when you're listening to this. And right before that, I have to say the structural foundation that the guitar, the bass line, and the drums form together is just as solid as you can get. Like the fibers of it are together. They're woven together so well that nothing gets through, but at the same time it can still breathe. And it's just a sign of a group of musicians who are really specializing in their area of expertise, but then also coming together to make this perfect mix. It's a good band. It's a good band. All right, let's see if we can find some of this drumming stuff. Love that line. Okay, so that was the sort of hemiola spot that I was talking about. Like it was just kind of doing this and it all sort of came together to the point, sort of like the hubcap illusion, where the design of the hubcap, it's doing this and all of a sudden you hit that certain speed where it'll start to look like it's going backwards. Very, very cool. Very, very complex. All right, so I think I'm going to finish this song out from here just because I want to hear again. I remember there were some epic things happening towards the end, but there were so many interesting things all along the way that it's all kind of getting lost. So I need to hear the end again. So we're just going to hear it on out. Nice. All right. That was my first listen to the band Tool. And was that a disappointment in any way? No. Absolutely not. Do I need to listen to some more Tool? Yes, I absolutely do. So please leave in the comments, or you can find me on Patreon or on Ko-fi and leave suggestions. You can also make a direct request with one of the higher tiers, or just vote in the polls to help me decide, because I'm going to put a few polls out there just to help me, like, which one do I go to next? I think this was a really good one to start out with, but I know there are a few others that are favorites of everybody, and so I want to make sure that I choose the best pathway possible. Also, please let me know if I missed anything in here, or if I was able to catch on to things the right way in here. I really have no idea. I mean, some things are kind of obvious, but like the meaning behind the song, I don't know. I could be way off. But I also think that this is just a hint of this band and what they can do. It's probably a good example, but I need to hear more, and I probably need to hear it. I don't know if their albums are concept albums, so I don't know if I need to listen to a whole album all the way through, but I just feel like I need to taste a little bit more. I would not consider myself a Tool fan yet. I definitely appreciate them, and this was really interesting. But I need to know more before I can officially call myself a fan. And I'm probably going to listen to this song several more times. It's going on my playlist. I just need the groove to set in a little bit more, I think, and then make more connections with some more of their songs. I mean, there's a connection here with this band. Don't get me wrong, but I just need more. So I hope all of you can help me on that journey, and maybe I can also do a reaction to a video. I'll have to see. Everyone's like, their videos are so creative, it's really distracting. So I'll keep that in mind, but weigh in. Feel free to weigh in because, again, I want to choose the right path here. So I'm not going to say that I'm a fan yet, but it's just simply because I don't think I deserve to yet. I have to hear more first. There's too much involved here. That would be too surfacey of me to just be like, oh, I love it. I'm a new fan right now. I'm not doing that right now. I'm not doing that with this. I need to hear more. So, on to the next. And don't forget to do all the things, like and subscribe, and all that stuff. And as always, Just remember that you don't have to be perfect. Just be okay. And keep listening. Listening to more Tool.